Lawful money or legal tender? Redeemable and lawful money. It didn't say redeemable and legal tender. When the Kennedy brothers were murdered and they brought in the Coinage Act of 1965, signed into law by Lyndon Johnson, the Coinage Act of 1965, they took away all the lawful money and they replaced it with this phony baloney bullshit, the helicopter money. They replaced it with the quantitative easing. Now, the reason I refer to it as phony baloney bullshit money is people like David Stockman, who was the Office of Management and Budget Director for a couple of U.S. presidents. David Stockman referred to it as phony baloney money. Professor Larry Parks, the same thing, fiat, shin plaster, script, bills of exchange. And then, of course, you've got the Mises Institute, which is a group of extremely academic, scholastically informed professors and scholars. The Mises Institute knows that it's all helicopter money. The bills didn't used to say redeemable in helicopter money. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is how they've enslaved you with their so-called modern monetary theory, where they print up endless rivers, endless tsunamis of phony baloney bullshit fiat currency, which is not lawful money. I would suggest that everybody in the world take the time to understand and to research and do a little study on why the money in the United States during the days of Bobby and John Kennedy, why it said redeemable and lawful money on every one of the bills. This is how they've turned you into a serf. This is how they've used their shin plaster racketeering scheme, their pyramid Ponzi scheme, to turn everybody into a slave. So long as they control the production of endless rivers and tidal waves of credit based on the Federal Reserve notes, so long as they're able to print all the quantitative easing and print and keystroke into computer databases all this so-called helicopter money, they've turned you all into a bunch of debt slaves. And it's the people behind all this debt slavery that have financed Joe Biden and Chlamydia Harris. These are the people that finance people like Donald Trump and this Pence, this Vice President Pence. And let's see, they've financed Pelosi, and they financed Sanders, and they financed Schumer and Mitch McConnell. And the list goes on and on and on and on through the Senate and the Congress. Most of your judges are all financed by the people producing this so-called legal tender. And I mean so-called legal tender. The bankster gangsters, the insurance companies, all the big real estate developers and the big, medical insurance providers and the big hospital systems and all these cemeteries. The death industry has financed people like Biden and Chlamydia Harris and Pence and Trump and the whole pile of them up there to Washington, D.C. are all about this out of the thin air, hocus pocus, abracadabra, presto changeo, phony baloney bullshit money. And this is how they've taken over the control of the National Guard. This is how they've taken over control of the military with their bullshit money. So what you got going on in Washington, D.C. this week is a bunch of kids in National Guard uniforms that really don't know their ass from a hole in the ground with weapons, and they're going to protect the so-called peaceful transition of power. Ask all those National Guardsmen what the difference between legal tender and lawful money is. Ask them why the bills during Bobby and John Kennedy's day were printed. Every single one of them had it on the bill. It said redeemable and lawful money. And I challenge everybody that ever watches this video, explain it. Why was it redeemable? What was it redeemable for? And why are all the bills no longer redeemable? I mean, there's a lot of discussion to have here. So, folks, I would suggest that you build a large chain link fence and put you some razor wire on top of it and lock them all up. I'd lock Trump up with Pelosi and Pelosi up with Clinton and Clinton up with Obama and Schumer and Pelosi and the whole bunch of them. Lock the whole bunch of them up. Pence, the Bushes, get a hold of the Cheneys, the Schumers, the Sanders, the Warrens, all of the Congress, all of the Senate. Lock them all up and force them to explain exactly what lawful money was. What was lawful money during the days of Benjamin Franklin and Thomas Jefferson? What was lawful money during the days of, Eisenhower and Roosevelt? What the hell is the difference between so-called legal tender and lawful money? And when you begin to wake up and realize that they've turned you all into slaves, you're all addicted to this narcotic called the reserve note. You're all addicted to this narcotic called credit. It's killing your nation. It's killing your constitutional republic. This BS about it being a democracy, no, ladies and gentlemen, it's a constitutional republic. And the Democrats, they need to be shut up. They're the ones that need to be shut up. They're the ones that the tech giant should be censoring, because there's a great, big, huge difference between constitutional republic and democracy. For one nation under God, what was it there? One nation under God, and the republic it stands for. I mean, come on, ladies and gentlemen, wake up. Wake up. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave it right there, and as always, hot, live, from the good old heartbeat of America, from the Chevrolet. Have a wonderful day.